IKEA, the place where it can all start or it can all come together. Now you might be wondering, this is a tech channel, what the heck are we doing at IKEA? And my answer to that is that almost every tech setup has at least one item from IKEA. Whether it's the desk, the storage, displays, lighting, heck, even the tech itself. And today I'm going to show you my top grabs that have actually been worth it for my setup and home, and the one thing I wouldn't recommend. One of the first things that I did originally was build an IKEA Alex desk for the setup, which has since changed, but I've kept the white TROTTEN desktop and I added the TROTTEN legs in black, and it's been so much better as the desktop isn't that big. It's only about 160 centimeters wide and 80 centimeters deep. So having more space around the base to move around has been quite freeing. These legs are also compatible with the smaller 140cm TROTTEN desktops, and everything's got pre-drilled holes, so assembly is super easy. So you know those setup staples, the Alex drawers and cabinet, they can provide a lot more storage than you would originally think. I repurposed both of these units in the setup and screwed on lap Viken cabinet doors to the top of each cabinet. And as you can see, I went a little bit drill crazy with one of them and almost screwed right through, so be careful for that as the panels are quite thin. But yeah, I've got a bunch of crap in the drawers, from stationery to cables, old PC game discs, mice, camera gear and miscellaneous junk that I'm not ready to part with just yet. And in the cabinet, I've got my console games from every generation from PS2 through to PS5, and this is also where my fine mic lives, as I don't want to have it on my desk when I only use it about once a week. And a tip here is that you'll want to pick up the Alex caster wheels too to make these cabinets easier to move around, as they can get quite heavy when you fill them up. These cabinets come in a few different colors, and at times they'll have some unique limited edition variants as well that can really help make your space pop. Another fantastic storage solution is this IKEA PS Locker that gives a very industrial vibe, which can be a nice addition to any space. I've personally got this set up as my TV stand, and as you can see, inside there's a massive amount of storage, which I've used to store boxes and some bits of tech. But you can honestly put anything in there, from like cushions and throws to crockery, or really for whatever purpose, for wherever you plan to put this in your home, you can put anything you want in there. This style only comes in white at the time of making this video, but there are a few different styles and designs of lockers that do come in greys, whites and blacks, and there's also a green Idasan one which can really stand out as a statement piece in the right space. When it comes to lighting, I've got a few lamps around the entire apartment, including the infamous donut lamp. This lamp is often sold out at my local store, so as soon as I saw it, I didn't even think twice. It's great for accent lighting and gives off a very groovy kind of vibe, and you can wall mount these too if you prefer, but just so you know, it is glass, so be careful if you do choose to do that. Oh, and speaking of which, if you do go for one of these, I'd make sure to open the box and check to make sure that there's no cracks or chips on the actual donut itself, and that it's also not entirely broken either, I guess. Same goes for this FADO lamp. It's a very cheap one, but it's pretty aesthetically pleasing and it can light up your space quite well. It's mainly just a big glass ball with, if I'm honest, a very flimsy base that is quite easy to knock over, but hey, it's a great looking lamp. I've got an RGB LIFX globe in mine, so I can easily change the light color to match the vibe, though I mostly keep it either at a warm 3500 Kelvin or a cooler 5000 Kelvin, depending on the scene. For my living room, I've also got a LAUTERS lamp, which is quite minimal and it can fit well into any Japandi spaces, and the lamp itself is height adjustable and it has a base that you can wrap the cord in, which is all part of the aesthetic, and it'll help keep it all nice and tidy. Furthermore, in the living room, right above the LAUTERS, I've got these HONEFOSS mirrors, these little hexagon shaped panels that come in a pack of 10, 5 of which are on a silver tint and 5 of them are on a bronze tint, and you can lay these out in pretty much any pattern that you like to get the right vibe for your space. I've got it sprawled across 2 walls, as you can see in the corner, and the tones of the tints paired with the LAUTERS lamp really work well with the copper velvet tub chairs that I've got just underneath them. And just next to that is the Stockholm TV Bench in walnut that has 3 fold-up doors, which inside have got 2 tiered shelves, and it has cable access through the base of the unit. You can either push the bottom of the doors to open it up with their spring clips, or like I do, just push the top of the door and it folds right in. Again, a very sturdy, minimal piece with straight lines, and it'll fit into plenty of living spaces very easily. Speaking of sturdy, is this recently added KIVIK Ottoman I only grabbed a few weeks ago, as I wanted to put my feet up while using my laptop or watching movies in the living room, and this thing has been pretty amazing. And look, as far as Ottomans go, there isn't really much to say about it. It is an Ottoman at the end of the day, but it does have massive storage space, which I've used for some additional cushions and throws. And yes, it is matching my KIVIK couch, which I'll come back to in a moment. As for decorations, this is where IKEA really starts to shine, and that is starting with their floating lac shelves. I've had 3 of these shelves and they've all been pretty easy to install. I'd suggest to fix it to at least 1 stud though, if you want to put a bit of weight on there just to be safe. And again, these do come in a variety of colors. The second thing are the frames. Frames can cost a ridiculous amount of money for everyday art, so you can't go wrong with a nice black, white, or a timber effect frame from IKEA. I've got a few of these RODALM frames around, one for the Mercedes F1 Lego car here, and some smaller ones for the comics on my opposite wall. I've also got another large one for this rare 30th anniversary PlayStation poster that came with my 30th edition console, but I recently took it down as I felt there was a lot of gaming focused decoration in the room, and while I am a gamer, this is more of a tech channel and I want to keep it balanced. One more thing I'll put in the decoration column is the Skadis Pegboard range. I've recently changed over to the larger wood effect pegboard above my charging station here in the corner of the room, where I currently have it set up to display my DJI drone, my PlayStation Portal, and a few other various daily things I use like my whoosh cleaner, some power banks, and various cables that I use every day for easy reach. There's so much you can do with a Skadis pegboard, from decoration to function in your setup, and you can set up your stationery or your peripherals, really anything that you use for your setup on a day-to-day basis, hang up on the pegboard and reduce the clutter on your desk. I've even seen people have these set up in their kitchen for cooking utensils, or even in their bathrooms for toiletries. Their use cases are pretty much endless. Now, to tie it all in and bring a bit of life to your spaces, you can never go wrong with some plants. I've got a few around, like the one on the lac shelf, the one near my speaker, and the one on top of my PC, which dangles down to somewhat hide the cables coming out the back of the PC. You should always get a pot to put these in, as they do come with standard black plastic bases that aren't really that appealing. I've grabbed 2 of the Soja Bona pots that are like a eucalyptusy green, which are quite nice in person. It's a pop of subtle color that works well with the whites and brown blacks in my space, and again, it's something that can really easily fit into pretty much any setup or living room. Now, all in all, IKEA have some pretty amazing things, but one thing that I bought that I flat out do not like and I want to replace soon is this 3-seater KIVIK couch. It's been about 2 years I've had this thing, and as you can see, where I sit the most, the cushions have sagged and misshapen quite a bit. I went for this couch because it had a spring base and pocket springs in the cushions, so I figured it would last longer than a lot of other stuff on the market. Plus, I like the look of the boxed arms, but I didn't think that they are going to be basically just timber boxes with a thin layer of foam and fabric on there, so they are incredibly uncomfortable to lay your head down on. I've often had naps on the couch resting my head on the arms, even with a cushion behind my head, and I've woken up with a headache after just a couple of hours because of how hard those arms are. The spring base is noisy, the pocket springs pop around, and the cushions are all but collapsed after just 2 years. But hey, at least the fabric's machine washable, so that's something. Look, IKEA have got some amazing stuff you can use to furnish your entire house, whether you're going for the minimal vibe, the eclectic vibe, the monochrome or multicolor, and while some items are more of a get you by for now kind of thing, a lot of others are there for the long haul and they can make your setup or your space look absolutely amazing. Anyways guys, that's it from me for this one. If you enjoyed the video with, a bit of a different vibe with a bit more lifestyle around the tech, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if my voice sounded a bit rough, I have been recovering, but I really wanted to get this video out for you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.